Hi, it's Allie with Seattle Coffee Gear, and today we were reviewing the R91 from Rocket Espresso. Now, this is their high-end machine. It has a lot of differences than some of their other models. Like, you can obviously tell in the way that it looks, the design is different. Still has the all stainless steel casing, and it actually has some of the same designs as their commercial models. So, a few things make this machine unique. Obviously, the size. It is 17 inches high, so I know it looks kind of big. It is 20 inches deep and about, I think it's 16.2 wide. So a little bit different shape. It's going to take up a little bit more real estate, but there are other machines on the market that do this as well, so it's not super odd. It does come with that stainless steel cup rail, and you have lots of real estate up here for your cup warmer. You also have your tank here. If you'd like to run this from tank, you can. I believe that's 2.5 liters. It has a 1.9 liter brew boiler and a 3 point something. I'm sorry about that. Check out the specs on our website, but pretty big steam boiler as well. So it's going to be able to have a lot of capacity, a lot of water ready on demand, which is really nice. This machine can be plumb. It does have a rotary pump, and it is, honestly, it works the best. You can take advantage of the full features if it is a plumbed in machine. There are a few things, just small things, that you can't actually do if it's not plumbed in. Mainly the biggest one is going to be this fun feature on the hot water spout. So you see the hot water spout here. If you don't have it plumbed, if you have it run from a tank like we do right now, it works like any of the other Rocket steam arms, or sorry, hot water. Where it will pull that straight from the steam boiler, the service boiler. Now, if it's plumbed in, you can access this added feature up top here, and it is a mixing valve. So what that does, you just take a little flathead screwdriver, go in there, and you can add or you can increase or decrease the amount of cool water that is added into that, so it's not sputtering and splashing and really hot like you see some of the other ones do, which is a nice feature if you like to use it for really anything. You know, it's not going to burn you as much. I don't quite like how hot the water is for Americanos. I'm always really sensitive to that hot temperature, so I like that feature a lot. Obviously, it has a different long steam arm. It has a little bit more maneuverability, if you will, and it's got the aerodynamic lever here to actuate that instead of the turn. Obviously, you see the touchscreen here on the right-hand side. Now, this touchscreen isn't super sensitive, but I think that's intentional. It is trying to protect it from the heat, so anytime you have that kind of technology built in, it may not be super sensitive, but I don't think that's a con. You can see here you have a lot of the function will be controlled here. Right up front, you see hot water, so if I hit hot water, I will get a pre-dispensed amount. And that's what I mean by the sputtering. But you can program how much water comes out of there. So I typically program it to rinse a shot glass. So if I put this under here and hit that button, it would fill it up and kind of rinse it out, which is nice. Now you also have access to this button here, which will be your profile. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But if you hit the Rocket button, it takes you into the settings. You can change the temperature. You can set this up on a schedule to turn on in the morning. I think it gives you two options. So you could do in the morning, in the afternoon. Honestly, this machine takes a pretty long time to warm up. I think it's a little bit longer than some of the other Rocket machines. I would say closer to 30 minutes plus, whereas some of the other ones you can probably sneak and get away with around 20, 25. These boilers are really big, so it's going to take a while. It does prioritize the brew boiler though, which is nice because I was able to dial in my espresso while I waited for the steam. So that's great. Have two pressure gauges here. The bottom is going to show you what's going on in the steam boiler. I actually have the steam boiler turned up pretty high right now, so you see it towards that maximum on the green range. The maximum this can be set to, I think it was 266 degrees, which is really hot. I backed it down to 260 or so, which is still pretty hot, but gives you more power. Now, up top here, you also have another pressure gauge. This is actually going to tell you what's happening at the pump. So it's a little confusing. While this may say one thing for your pressure, since this is a pressure profiling machine, your pump may read something else, but that's a little bit technical, but don't worry, don't freak out, normal. So profiles you have right here, so we'll get to that. You can turn the service boiler on or off. This is your warning symbol if anything is going wrong. Your maintenance in there, and then you can get one more screen with some programming. But we're going to go back to profiles. So the profiles that are in this menu kind of resemble what's in their R60 model. So this one, the R60, you get 3 profiles. This one you get 5. So 5 profiles that you can break down and kind of program it to what you want. I always recommend just trying out standard at first to see what you like. And then let's scroll through here. Actually, we don't need to go through all of those, but instead we're going to go back out to the main menu. And you notice something here. You see the star and you see the hand. So what that means is you can actually create your own profile here and it will save it and remember it. So a lot of pressure profiling machines out there, manual paddle machines, you kind of have this gap where you can do this really cool stuff, but it's hit or miss. You never know if you're going to be able to recreate that wonderful shot because it's hard to really actually precisely measure that. Now with this machine, they've actually have a way of recording that. So it will save it into your star profile and you can reference that again if you found your God shot, if you will, and you can just make that next time. So that's a really cool feature. I think it's something kind of different that Rocket's doing that was missing from a lot of machines before. What else can I tell you about this machine? It's pretty cool. I think it does look very different than their other models. It comes with some different things as well. Like you see here, this is actually a saturated group instead of the E61 like on their other models. So it leaves a little bit of residue in there more so. But this is a different portafilter actually. So it comes with their commercial grade stainless steel portafilters. So you'll notice a few different things as far as the spouts. They're a little bit more like tea drop or honey drop, if you will. It actually comes with a precision basket inside as well. So these are IMS baskets, I believe. They do not fit the triple basket, so that's kind of, you know, here or there depending on how you are. But I do like this added like soft touch almost on the handle. It also sits a little more even or flat. If you notice, I brought one of the traditional Rocket portafilters here. So that one's got more of a lean to it. They've kind of made this a little bit more level and even. It also comes with a single spout and it comes with a bottomless, so that's nice. You also get that nice upgraded tamp that Rocket has, which is one of my favorite. Nice and heavy duty. Your other options, like you actually get a specific user manual for this machine. It is not included with all of the other manuals like they typically do. The polish rag, the backflush basket, which is super important. You want to make sure you're cleaning your machine regularly. And your manual is also on this USB drive. Now we have added on these fun little accessories here, the Rocket knockbox and the steaming pitcher, both I like, and we're pairing it up obviously with the Rocket Fausto. Anytime you have a really nice high-end machine, your grinder is also just as equally important. You want to make sure it is able to give you fine enough grounds as well as the high quality, not too clumpy or anything like that. So I think we are ready to go ahead and dive into making a shot. I would definitely recommend pairing this machine up with a scale. Since it does have such precise amounts that you can change it, it just makes sense. So I am using an Equator coffee today. It's a single origin, so we can take advantage of that nice profiling system. Honeysuckle, pomegranate, and green apple are the notes. And whenever I was dialing it in, I got mostly honeysuckle, but we'll see what happens this time. Gonna go with a classic 18 grams into my portafilter here. I also like the way this portafilter sits with the Fausto. It's kind of nice. It's like they designed it a little bit different. I think I forgot to change the dose on this, so I'm gonna check. I sure did. So I overdosed a little bit. This is about 20 grams. I was mostly going for 18, but hey, we will swing with it, work with it. And then it does fit in a little differently just because it's stainless steel rubbing against there, so don't be freaked out by that. I'm going to get my pearl scale here. And let's do, so I am going to do a cortado today. I don't think I'll be able to fit it into that because there's a small cup clearance here. So we're just going to brew 1 espresso in each, split it up, and see what happens here. So I'm on the manual. I'm going to be saving it to my star profile, and let's just give it a go and see what happens. I'm going to start out at a low pressure. I'm aiming for about 3 bars. We'll go with 2.4. That works for me. So once I get about 3 grams, I'm going to pop it up to 8. Sure. And then now that I'm approaching 30, I'm going to back it off and turn it off. So now that profile, say I taste this and it's the best shot I've ever had, it's going to save it. So tomorrow morning or later in the afternoon, whenever I decide to go back to my machine, I'll hit the button. I won't have to do any of this fancy paddle work. It'll just do that for me. Lots of crema, so that's great. Smells good. Smells kind of floral. That's pretty good. I can definitely taste the higher dose on that, so it's a little punchy, as my coworker John would say. But not bad at all. I would say if I was going to brew it again, probably back that off a little bit, adjust my grinder to be less. But not bad. Definitely more acidity there, so might do something to change that too. You can change that with your pressure. Let's see how it steams. So I've got my cortado glass here, and I will show you what I mean by the rinse. Ta-da! If you have this plumbed in, that would make a lot more sense to do that because it'll just drain out. So we are going to steam our milk here. I always start with giving my steam arm a purge because obviously this is a longer steam arm, so it's going to have some condensation built up. Just want to make sure none of that water ends up in your milk. And I am dairy intolerant, so I'm using almond milk today. This typically frosts pretty well for me, but no promises on what you will see. I am latte camera shy. Yeah, that's pretty hot. Pretty quick. If you turned it down, say it was a little too powerful. Yeah. It's pretty bubbly. If you turned it down, it would probably be a little more forgiving. That is okay though. I wanted to see it at max. Cortado's not my best. Some sort of lopsided heart. All that matters is what it tastes like, and it looks pretty delicious. That punchy, if you will, that works really well with milk. I think it helps kind of stick up to the milk and not, get covered up too much, which is always my big complaint with bigger drinks. Sometimes it's hard to get a nice flavor out without it being too dark or something like that. So this is really good. Yeah, and the cool thing about pressure profiling is you never really know what you're gonna get, and you can do a whole bunch on a manual paddle machine really easily and change things on the fly, so that's really convenient. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been a crew review of the Rocket Espresso R91. If you have any questions about the machine, if I left out any information, place it in the comments below. We so appreciate having you here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.